Hello and welcome to episode 128 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast. I'm your host, Chris Laverick. On episode 128, we have Hastings United manager Danny BLOOR talking his time at Eastbourne Borough, why he took on the Hastings job, and how he thinks things are shaping up at the Pilot Field. Then we have the SBTS Fan Roundtable, rounding up all the last few weeks' shenanigans in the Isthmian League. Enjoy, SBTS fans. And now over to you's boss, Danny BLOOR. It gives me great pleasure to have Danny BLOOR on, Hastings manager, for episode 128 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast. Danny, coming off a nice little victory against Chatham on Tuesday. How are you this afternoon, sir?
Yeah, well, it's certainly a lot sweeter, Chris, than I was on Saturday at 5:10. Bitterly disappointed to crash out of the FA Cup. We made a couple of decisions, and then to beat Chatham on Tuesday night was really, really pleasing. And our young players did particularly well against a really good Chatham side, who themselves were really unfortunate to go out of the FA Cup against Slough Town last Saturday. We were 3-0 up with 90 minutes, but the ref played an astonishing 13 minutes of additional time, and it took a bit of a gloss off it, them scoring 2 late goals, but we played certainly well in the 90 minutes, as they say.
I listened on the radio. Danny couldn't be there because I was at work. The pleasure and the pain, they got that across well. Bit of a nail biter at the end.
Good job. Good job. I've got no hair, Chris, because I'll certainly be pulling my hair up. But no, listen, we've got some young players. It was really good to get Sam Crutwell patched up and get him back on the pitch. He hadn't played since the Brighton friendly way back in July. But we lacked experience. Jack Dixon was unavailable, so getting Crutwell back on the pitch was really, really crucial. And he's going to be a really important player for us going into October, November, and the winter, etc.
No, 100%, the class act. Danny, just wanted to go back to a little bit of your previous. You're mostly known for your time at Eastbourne Borough.
Yeah.
What was that like to build a side? And also, what would you say is the big difference between the league above and this one? In your opinion?
Well, first, I'll answer those questions, Chris. Firstly, to build a side, I took over. They were in the bottom 3, and it was a lot around COVID time as well. But I can remember my first game at Eastbourne, we beat Hungerford 1-0. Dean Cox, who isn't the biggest, he scored with a header. And then that was in the November 2019. We then turned the corner and it was into 2020. And COVID pretty much struck upon us quickly. And I can remember the last game before COVID, it was 14th of March 2020. We beat Maidstone. And I'm not really sad, but it was a day I was 50. So it was a day I remember well. And it was then a really odd time, phone-in fans, really integrating with the people of Eastbourne. And then we came back, we started training when you were allowed to do so, and it just really evolved from there. In the end, we were going in schools. My friend and the lady who was involved with the commercial side, Sian Ansell, did a brilliant job. We were in schools, we were really integrated in the community. And I think my first game at home at Priory Lane as manager, the crowd was just under 400. And my last game against Concord Rangers, I think it was nearly 1,700 there. So it was totally different to as it is at Hastings now. The crowd's been brilliant from the day I walked through the door. It was good. It was good fun. And we became became like a family, Chris. Everyone was there for each other. And I've relayed this story before. The local takeaway Chinese restaurant, the Windmill, owned by a guy called Kevin, Sian as well, had gone in there and done a deal, as they say, to with Kevin. He got some boards and some programme advertising. And he said, if we scored a penalty, he'd give the boys a free Chinese on a Thursday evening after training, or if we saved a penalty. I can remember a game at Priory Lane against Hungerford again. And I think we were winning 4-5-1 or something like that. And we got a penalty. And the game was pretty much put to bed, but the whole excitement was, crikey, if we can score this penalty, it's the Chinese this Thursday. So it was an unbelievable team spirit. And it ended on a really disappointing note. New owners came in, they made a decision, and it was the decision that they made, and we were disappointed. I then went to Welling, and I won't lie, that didn't go terribly well. I was outside my comfort zone going to London, and it was difficult. And that sort of ended in January. this year, January this year. And then Hastings feels like I've come home, really. I was at Hastings for a spell, I think about 8-9 years ago, and I feel like I'm back at home at Hastings. It's a Sussex club, and it's as I say, it's like being home, and the fans are just absolutely unbelievable. They're singing, and the songs they make up, and it was lovely to hear that on Tuesday evening, and it was nice. We're not going to get it right. I make loads and loads of mistakes, and people question what you do sometimes. I think even on Tuesday night, and I don't do social media, but people were questioning our substitutions. Well, we had to make the substitutions. Finn Chapman, who was man of the match, was outstanding. He hadn't started a game. He was on his feet, so we had to take him off. Sam Crutwell, as I've said earlier, we sort of willed him out to play. He couldn't move. So sometimes fans don't understand that it's not always what appears to be. Sometimes you have to do things because they're needed to be done. So that was good on Tuesday. But as I say, Eastbourne Borough, and I think, did you say what the highlight was there when it was getting to the first round proper of the FA Cup, a live televised game against Blackpool? Alas, that was in COVID times. And then, a budget, really, and the people who were in charge at the time, the budget should have seen us in the relegation zone. It is about budgets, but we somehow managed to get the team in the playoffs. We lost away at Oxford City, and then the following season, we missed out on the last Saturday. And it is about budgets, and it doesn't matter if it's the Premier League or the National League South or the Isthmian Premier that we're in now. Sides with the bigger budgets genuinely are at the top. We know that wasn't the case when Leicester City won the Premier League, but that's generally what it is. So, that was my time at Eastbourne. Ended on a sour note. Things were said, things happened that perhaps, would disappointed me. But I certainly left the club in a far better place than when I arrived. And it's a time I look back with great fondness.
Well, to hear. The one question I did ask you was what's the sort of any major difference between that league and this league?
I think that the thing that I've found is I actually think the games. I mean, our game against Horsham, it could have easily been a Conference South game. What I've found is it's harder attracting players. A lot of players want to have that belief to play in Step 2 because they see that they can progress. And the other thing that I find more difficult is attracting loan players. My record with loan players, Jack Curry had on loan from Wimbledon when I was at Eastbourne. He went back and is now, I think he got sold to Oxford's now on loan at Leyton Orient. Charlie Kendall. We had a number of good loan players, but the difference, as I say, was at this level, clubs, always want to try and not Step 3. They want to loan them out to a Step 2.
Thanks, Danny. Just on yourself, like, what was your club growing up? Like, what was your team? Any particular sort of footballing heroes that you can?
I mean, obviously, I'm born and bred in Brighton, so I remember following Brighton the cup final in 1983, going to Wembley on a bus as a 13-year-old. I'm not sure how many mums and dads would allow kids to do that now. And then I played for Brighton in the reserves when I was 15. Graham Mosley, who played in that cup final I went to, he was the goalie. I remember playing at Oxford United one night at the old Manor Ground. And then I was all right as a schoolboy player, but I never progressed, and I wasn't very good as an adult player. And then, sort of drifted out of football a little bit. Then soon got back in after a period of time playing at Burgess Hill, and then sort of snowballed from there, player manager of the reserves. Before I blinked, I was manager. I think back in that time, I won the county league by a record number of points. And that's how my sort of managerial career got going. But I actually think I learned so much from when I had a spell working with Mark McGee. And that's when I felt I sort of learned a lot from Mark, who managed at all sorts of levels in the Premier League, had been a national assistant manager for Scotland and many other clubs. And I learned so much from Mark over a short period of time. And I actually think now, it took me a long while, but I think I sort of have pretty much try and think you know what you're doing. But listen, I make loads of mistakes, and I made mistakes on Saturday. I even made mistakes on Tuesday night in that victory. I'll make mistakes at Leverhead on Saturday. But I think if you're honest and try your best, people normally are pretty happy.
What would you, on that note though, what would you say is your footballing philosophy? How would you, you're seeing a Danny BLOOR team, what are you seeing like?
Well, I think the first thing is you want to have a winning philosophy, and you have to judge the facilities, you have to judge the pitch you're playing on. Listen, we all want to watch teams play like Barcelona and Man City, but you wouldn't ask your plumber to do your electrics, would you? So I think people have to realise that. The prerequisite of teams that play for me were like Tuesday night. People have to run. Our statistics for the game on Tuesday were incredible. I think it was 7 or 8 players run over 10K. So I want people who work hard, people who are honest, people who want to roll their sleeves up and have a go and play for themselves, play for their teammates, play for me and my management team, and then play for the club. A philosophy is, I think it's something that you've got to be open-minded about. It was a mistake I made when I left Eastbourne. We were playing on a 4G pitch, had 2 of the best wingers around at the time, Shiloh Remy and Liam Bravata. I felt you could go to Welling on a grass pitch and replicate that way of playing, and you couldn't. I think my philosophy is being flexible. However, my philosophy is I want to win games of football, because if not, I get miserable, and I was very miserable last Saturday night.
Yeah, I could tell on that one. Yeah. Actually, on that facilities issue, yeah, as a long-time Hastings fan, and facilities has been a problem for a while. Now, you wouldn't have had that at Eastbourne, and not at Welling either. I mean,
we did. We had it at Welling. It was a major problem at Welling finding a training facility.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was something that was difficult at Welling. Listen, you're going to say about facilities, and I've had these conversations with Ben White and Dean White. I think as soon as we can get a 4G pitch at the pilot field, it's better. It's better for the whole community. I'd love to be going there on a Saturday morning. You see kids are playing on the main pitch, tournaments at half time. You can have competitions. I think the only way for any non-league football club is to have a 4G pitch. It's a ridiculous scenario, in my opinion, when you win the National League like Sutton did. You have to rip your pitch up, then you get relegated. You can't have a 4G pitch in League Two. So I think that's a crucial thing for Hastings United, to improve and get up-to-date facilities.
Do you got any idea how far that's away, though? Because
it's been going forever. I try my best with the football. That's not a question for me to answer. Yeah. I really don't know.
I mean, how do you get round it? I mean, we've got the...
Well, I'll tell you what we have managed to hopefully secure, and I won't really announce it just yet. We hopefully have got a 4G and brand new 4G facility outside of the area that we'll be training at. As I say, I won't just name it just yet, and that really will be crucial for us to know, particularly when it's not quite so bad this Saturday, because we're away this Saturday. Yeah. But when you're at home on the Saturday, you can't be training on your pitch on the Thursday evening. And I must say, the pitch on Tuesday night was magnificent. It was as good as it's been since I've been at the pilot field. It was absolutely superb. And it was no coincidence we played some of our best football of the season, like we did at Lewis when the pitch there was outstanding. So, listen, but the other side about it, though, Chris, you have to roll your sleeves up. People are always looking for players, managers, coaches looking for excuses. It's the same for the opposition and it is for us.
Yeah, no, true. I mean, I'd say a lot of the chaps that I spoke to after the Chatham game said how well the pitch played, because it has been an ongoing concern for us Hastings fans, like last year as well. Like, it really cut up. Like, towards the end of the season, it was a bit of a pinball. Pinball machine. I wasn't there at the end of the season. No. Listen, we take one, and we have to be mindful of how bad the rain has been. We seem now than when I was a kid get much more rain, don't we? And it seems to rain forever now. But listen, whatever it is, we have to deal with. We get on, and that is what it is. Okay, all right. And so, performances-wise, ups and downs. Was that Lewis, where I thought going into that game, I thought, oh, bloody hell, I think we're going to struggle here. We put a great performance on. If only we'd have got that second goal, I thought we would have won it. But like in football, the longer it carries on, the other side comes on, and it was some magical saves from Louis for a few one-on-ones that kept us in it. And then obviously we had the Craig game where we weren't at the races, and then again Chatham, I think performance.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, Chris. I think we just got to show some consistency. We're still relatively new. It's a new group. Some of the players don't know me. We've made a few additions: George Walker, Billy Viger, Leo Young on loan. Forget Louis wasn't at the club last season, nor was Kane Penn, although you feel they're Hastings players, don't you? So I think we're still evolving, but I felt Tuesday night, we changed our shape a little bit Tuesday as well. I was very, very pleased with Tuesday night, and I really do feel now it's got to be a platform for us to build on.
I did ask some fan questions as well,
Yeah.
Danny, if you're all right with those.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of the ones was like with you know, you've come in terms of your coaching staff, and you're working with
coaching team is myself, Razor, Bobby Deegan, Stefanos, the goalkeeping coach. We got other people who do analysis as well. So yeah, no, we're all good to go.
Yeah, it was just that thing of like normally when a manager comes in, they bring their own lot in, and it was.
Well, I brought Sean Rain. I've known Sean a long time, you know, and he's a Hastings stalwart. He's done everything. He's done everything for the club, and he's really good. I didn't know Bobby, and you know, I wish I had known Bobby earlier because he's absolutely top drawer. Stefanos I brought with me, a new Steph from Eastbourne. So yeah, we're very happy with the way the management team is. But as I said earlier, we make mistakes, and that is
football. Yeah, I mean, something I talk about on the podcast. I'm used to in terms of who I fancy for winning the league. Now, obviously, you're gonna want our lovely Hastings winning this league or getting into the playoffs. But who do you fancy? Well,
as I said to you earlier, it boils down to budgets, and you know, I think it's well documented. Folkestone, Billericay, you know, even Chatham the other night, they have big budgets. Yeah. So, you know, it's really hard as well because Horsham as well, another side. I haven't seen all the sides play yet, so I don't really know, if I'm honest with you. And all I can worry about is us. You know, I try my best for Hastings United. You know, I want us to finish as high as we possibly can. You know, but also the other thing, and this is one of the things we're doing, there's other clubs in Sussex don't produce young players. We're producing young players. We played a 16-year-old in the, you know, FA Cup. We've got on Saturday, we brought on Ollie Palmer, who's 16, Joe Clifford. You know, we're something of what really appealed to me to take the Hastings job, and I was offered other jobs, was the project of bringing young players through. I've done it at Welling. I did it at Eastbourne, and that's what appeals to me. I want us to finish as high as we can, to try and play a good brand of football and produce our own young players. You look at the other night, Finn Chapman. He's only 19. You know, we're producing him. You know, it's something that I enjoy and something we will do.
How do you manage him anyway? Because he's always come across as me. He's a bit of a lightly lad, a bit of
Honestly, you talk about characters, and but his talking does it on the pitch, doesn't he? You know, he's been very patient. He's come on a sub. He scored a good goal against Horsham, didn't he? He's made an impact. I felt Tuesday night, I felt it was the time to unleash him. And boy, we did unleash him, didn't he? Scored, made a goal, run his absolute socks off, run himself into the ground, hence that substitution. And he got man of the match. So I expect big things from Finn Chapman moving forward now. He's sort of done his dues and he's ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, what about that dancing though, Danny? Have you got any words on that that dancing for that goal?
Well, listen, if he scores goals, he can do a tap dance, he can do the Morris dance, he can do any dancing he wants. If he scores goals, makes goals, and runs his heart out for Hastings United, he can do whatever dance he wants.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, thanks for your time.
Anytime.
Danny.
Anytime.
And up the U's, please. Up the U's.
Up the U's.
Up the U's.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Cheers, pal.
And now over to the SBTS Fan Roundtable. Many thanks to John from Canvey, Terry from Margate, and Rob from Folkestone for making it happen. Right, it gives me great pleasure to introduce episode 128 of the Sussex by the Sea Fan Roundtable with some lovely guests. The ever lovely Terry from Margate, John from Canvey, and Rob, Disco Rob from Folkestone. First of all, a lovely evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nice to meet you, Chris. Nice to see you guys.
Yeah, no, excellent. Eventful weeks in the Cup and League. We're all out of the Cup, so we're all going to drown our sorrows. League forms a little bit all over the place for all of us, even though we managed to nick a win against Chatham last night. Who wants to kick off first?
I'll go on.
Yeah, go on then, Terry. So, Terry, so Margate went on a little run, took a replay. Unfortunately, they did you 2-0 in the end.
I was talking to a couple of their fans at half time, and they were saying, that goal was actually offside. We're not quite sure what happened with that. So c'est la vie and all that. We've been doing pretty well. We've had like 2 games at home in the last 9, so it's been a little bit on the road. So, but we've been doing all right. So
You're still driving everyone everywhere, Terry?
Yes.
So that's why your back's gone then.
Yeah, that's why I've got a slip disc and a trapped nerve.
So listening, the Margate need to be looking after you, physios.
Yeah. So.
Literally gone to war for Margate.
Yeah.
Literally, mate. I had to come off my pixie pills. So yeah.
Yeah, go round Rob's house. He's got it all set up there, mate. Filled up, mate.
I could definitely fit in with that situation.
Cool.
But yeah,
loving the coding.
Yeah, you got 9. You already got 9 points. Started well.
Yeah. We were unbeaten until Ascot, so that was the trophy game. Another controversial one. Apparently, when you punch the ball out from behind the goal line, that's not a goal or a penalty. We've got footage of it, and it's like, how is that not? So that was the first one. But yeah, we've done all right. I'm enjoying my football. It's like, we're not doing too badly. We're not conceding in the last 96th minute. We won against Ramsgate in the Kent Cup, so that must
have been nice.
Well,
they got
1,800 there, and I still outsung all of them, so I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, what was that? Because I mean they've got a few quid there, haven't they? So I mean, what?
Yeah, Joe Taylor missed 2 penalties. What the hell's going on there?
Wow, did he?
He's collectors, aren't
it? Yeah. I mean,
that's you pressuring them behind the goal, wasn't it?
Yeah. We had they put the highlights up, and it was a Tom Ray masterclass. Absolutely superb. Our keeper is so good. I mean, okay, yeah, we've been struggling a little bit, silly mistakes at the back, but it was an absolute Tom Ray masterclass. He was superb for that game. I mean, we're up and down when we're coming to scoring, but we're getting there. We're a whole lot more from front to back. We're a lot more solid. We just need to take a little bit more of a chance on sometimes, just to get that final third, get the precision down. I'm looking forward to games now, not like what we're going to do this time. Are we going to concede in the 96? I'm a lot more positive this season. We've got a really good squad, and it's good football to watch. So yeah, I'm quite positive this season. Yeah.
With the Horsham game, how close were you to turning them over? I mean, like, were you lucky to get a draw, or were they lucky to get the draw first game?
I think they, to be fair, they were lucky that we it's just that little tiny switch off at the back, and they've scored. They punished us for it. Again, one of their goals last night was little switch off, and they pounced. So it's that fine margin. If our boys keep going all through, no silly mistakes, and we're doing pretty well. It's just 1 or 2 switch offs. I mean, you look, when we went to Bognor, we absolutely turned them over. It was like, what the hell's happening here?
That's the joys of the cup.
Yeah.
Who you got Saturday?
Lancing.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be a good game. That should be a good game.
Yeah, not been there before, so yeah.
Great Royal Ground's not much to shout about, but
Not. I mean, being in this league, some of them are quite eye-opening, shall we say?
What, you ain't doing the driving though, are you?
No, Rick's driving on Saturday. I've just got to try and sort it out for next Tuesday, or Tuesday after. You're at Three Bridges? No, I'm beginning with B. I don't know. Down your way again.
Beckenham? No.
Burgess Hill, that's the one.
Oh,
Or Budge. I think if I remember, Ben Pope's playing there these days. Got a few good
Right,
players
okay.
there.
Yeah, because it's all round your way again.
Rob, Folkestone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
last time I spoke to you, I think you were just about to play Kent Cup game, or had you just talked about that one? I can't remember.
No, I don't think we had spoke about that. No, we had the Cape Cup game against Phoenix Sports and we lost that on penalties. A bit of a second string side, but
I was going
still,
to say,
yeah, and not really. No one's really bothered, are they? I wouldn't say. Yeah. So we had the Kent Cup game. We're pick up from the Hendon game. We had Hendon at home and we beat them 2-0. And that was a good performance. That was really good. But it's patchy form, to be honest, because then we had Chichester away on the Saturday just gone and we missed a hatful of chances. And
that was a gut. Didn't they get the last minute winner?
yeah, they got a late
yeah.
late win.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so it's gutting really, but we've got streaky form at the minute. We just can't seem to put a run together of results. But saying that, it's not like we're in a bad position or anything like that. I think the manager's getting a bit frustrated with some players, like not turning in a performance. He feels a bit let down by some people. He was going on about making more changes. So it does feel like we've had a lot of change already. So and we haven't really managed to settle on that so far. So like I said, it's not been too bad a start. It's just we can't put around the results. It's one of them leagues, isn't it? Because I see that didn't Lewis lose the other day? Did they get battered?
Yeah, they played us. They played us, and we drew 0-0 with them. I was fully expecting us to get our arse handed to us, and it was like, hang on, we should have won the game. One of those ones, when you're winning and you don't put a team away, and then at the end, you're holding on for, Louis Rogers, who's been really good since he's coming in goal, couple of one-on-one saves. Oh, we should have lost the game in the end. And I was thinking, Lewis, there's no way they're going to be up near top. They're far too open. So then I can't remember who they played. I think, was it Bogner or did they play? Who
was it? I can't think who it was. It was a real shocker, wasn't it? Was it Potter's Bar? Was it?
Potter's Bar.
It was. Yeah, it was Potter's Bar.
Yeah, they got.
Sorry, I've got a mate at Lewis.
They got to think they got beat on the opening day. Potter's Bar, they got hammered by Dover, and then they go and put a performance in like that. Just goes to show you the league's just totally mad.
It is
completely nuts. And I haven't seen Lewis in yet, but
there's nothing special. I haven't seen anything. Yeah, I haven't really seen. Well, I see them at their place, and they didn't look particularly great, but then my lot haven't looked particularly great. So.
No,
but we'll get on to that in a minute. Yeah, sorry, go on, Rob.
Yeah, so we got the FA Trophy this weekend.
Yeah.
So we've got Ascot at home.
Oh.
Yeah, we got Ascot. So I keep hearing their name come up this season. Have they got a load of money or something? Have they gone and got a load of decent players and moving up? Are they going places at that club?
I'm assuming they're getting on the horses and they come in.
Yeah. Their ground is literally on the race course. If a ball goes over, it could hit a horse travelling.
Oh, what?
Oh, wow.
I'm sure you could get that on Betfair, couldn't you? How many balls are going to hit an horse that go out? A professional gambler out there might want to be doing that.
Yeah. So we got the FA Trophy this weekend. So I don't know, just a bit of a break from the league, and we went out the cup really early to Ramsgate. So maybe get something going in the trophy. It's another chance it is the only chance really to get to Wembley for a club like Folkestone. And you think Hornchurch won it not that long ago in COVID. It's always that dream. We had when Wales had a big panic up and locked down the fourth time, whatever they did. But we weren't locked down. We drew Wrexham in the FA Trophy. And, it was only a couple of years ago and no one could go because it was an empty ground. That's absolutely gutting because that's the biggest tie we'd have had in a long time. But so we could get a big head if we get through this round. We could end up with someone decent. So, not saying that Ascot aren't decent, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, you should expect to beat them, shouldn't you?
I hope so. Yeah, I'd hope. You'd think. We beat them by a nose.
Hey, yeah, I like that one. Okay, all right. Cheers, Rob. Well, I'm talking of cup runs. Let's go to John. Your cup run ended a little bit early. against Biggleswade. First, I mean, mate, that is gutting. Talk to us about that cup defeat first of all, mate, and then move on to the.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess really you could call my segment a bit at the moment football heaven and football hell, because we were on cloud nine after beating Chatham. I'll get more onto that in a minute, but yeah, this cup one, good God. I've never known us to dominate a team more and yet be so bad in front of goal. Like, we were just creating nothing. We were getting in positions, obviously getting around the back of their fullbacks, but the decision making was just beggars belief how we were conducting ourselves. Really, we had one or two chances. Their keeper, to be fair to him, he made a couple of good saves. But they just wanted more of us on the day. It was poor composure from us, really. It was
We're down to 9 as well, weren't they? 9 men.
They were down to 9, yeah. I mean, they went down to 10 after about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll give them their dues. It was a bit dubious. I don't think it was a sending off. But we took it all the same. But then they literally, I don't know, pretty much stuck two fingers up at us and win the score down the other end. So it's like, oh, for God's sake. And that's all to do in the second half. They're just going to throw 10 men behind the ball. And eventually that was 9, about 12 minutes ago. So I thought, all right, come on, please. At least just forward to replay. But yeah, that's one of them that's going to be, I don't know, keep me up on a few sleepless nights in a few years from now.
Oh, we've all got one of those, mate. We've all got one of those.
That's it. We've got plenty of those at Canvey, don't worry. Give me the new one. I mean, I've only just gotten over one, which I'll touch on in a minute. But it's gutting, because I think if it had worked out as it was, if we'd taken to a replay, we could have possibly had York City at home in the next round. So that would have been a big money spinner for the club, But yeah, it is what it is. We just got I mean, we got to start picking up league points as well. I mean, we don't get a chance to do that this weekend because, as I say, straight in the trophy. We've got Morton and Tiptree away. That's going to be an interesting one because they've got a couple of former players of ours, two of whom are, I don't know, they're probably in the sort of recent club legend status, but had a bit of falling out of our manager for one reason or another. So I don't know whether they'll be all guns blazing to try and get one back on him. But anyway, the football heaven, as you'll know now, Chris, is bringing Chatham down to earth, which I never expected. And that was, again, getting over one of them sort of sleepless night style stories. We last played them back in January, and we got absolutely rinsed. I think it was about 4-1 at half time. And you know how it is at their ground. Every time they score, they play that poxy Depeche Mode song.
Oh, God.
So we had to hear it about 3 times in the first 15 minutes. And I'm like, oh, for God's sake. And I've literally not been able to bring myself to listen to that song for the best part of 6 months. But I'll say we got there. We didn't expect much. I mean, we had a more full squad at least this time going there. Last time we went, we had a horrible injury crisis. This time we thought, okay, you know what, don't get rolled over. Go and put up a fight. But literally, in the space of 10 minutes, we were 2-0 up. It's like, what the hell's going on? They were just absolute 6s and 7s, Chatham. We just done our own work on them. Defended really well. And I think that's the most frustrating thing. We went from every player on the pitch just raising their game against Chatham, stayed in it, even when we missed a penalty in the game as well. So it could have been more. But and I thought, oh, God, that's us cooks. They're going to come back when that happened because we were 2-0 up at the time. And I thought, watch him come back now. But we just defended so well, hit them on the break, and then, got that third, and that was it. I mean, even when they got one back at the end, I mean, we can never see them keep clean sheet either, but even that was in like the 96th minute. We just found it hilarious because they still played the damn goal music. So there's all much just down the other end going, I think, I've done something incredibly childish on leaving the ground as well. I literally just got in the car with my mates I was driving that day, and I said, right, watch this. I rolled down all the windows, full volume, and just chucked that on. So I went past a couple of their fans. I was like, thanks for the points, boys. But that certainly got some trauma out of my system. But literally all heaps on again a week later. So hopefully we don't get another round this Saturday. A nice run in the trophy would be good. That's something we haven't had in quite a long time. And then we've got Cray Valley on Tuesday night. So we, again, just need to start picking up league points. Hopefully that Chatham one's a bit of a catalyst for that. But I don't think that'd be an easy game either. They're not a bad side. They're starting well. So remains to be seen.
Yeah, well, we can talk about Chatham quickly now, but So last time I was on, I'm just don't know if did I talk Lewis last time I was with you, you ladies and gents, a couple of weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure I've spoken about Lewis, but Lewis, fine performance. Really turned around. Thought we were going to get spanked by Lewis. I felt they gave us quite a lot of space, a lot of respect for a team that was top of the league at that point. I'm not sure if they're still top of the league now. I don't think they are, but I was like, oh, I don't think much of this lot. And obviously, results since then have shown that Lewis are definitely not the finest team in Sussex. They got their asses handed to them by Potter's Bar. But neither are Hastings, and we went in the cup to Cray, and we got absolutely spanked at their place. Absolute six of the best trousers down. For all the ones that went, I wasn't able to be there, which was actually lucky for me because it was an embarrassing performance. The manager then went on to say that heads would roll, that players would never play for the club again.
Yeah.
And then he literally picked the same team for the game against Chatham. So, which I found quite funny. And Chatham, I think we caught them at a good time. Obviously, they played yourselves, John. Their confidence can't be high, and we caught them out. We don't have a big squad, so we're kind of down to the sort of younger players, the kind of potentially, the promising players. But, young talents from Hastings, and particularly, I'd say Finley Chapman, Freddie Legg, Cian Moynes, all in the side, all had fantastic games. Finley got a great goal, set up to. Obviously, David scored for us again. He always scores for us. And Freddie Legg got the opener, and Finley Chapman got our third. But yeah, I mean, you see any of the stuff on Twitter, cracking goal from Chappers. I mean, I'm not sure that this might just be just a handy time to catch Chatham. I'm not sure we've turned a corner because it hasn't been great at Hastings. Lots of talk of unrest. We'll leave it at that. And but trophy, we've got Leatherhead away. I think that's going to be a toughie. They're a decent side. I'm hopefully get a draw, bring them back to Hastings. And then we got Shoreham in the Sussex Cup on Tuesday. So us at home. So we've got a couple of games there that get a bit of confidence from. It's we'll see. It's a bit. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, if you get what I mean. I just, I think we caught Chatham at a good time because and we gave them 2 goals at the end just to get everyone's the pulses racing. 3-0 up, and then our Sam Crutwell, who came back, that's worth a mention. Sam Crutwell, who's been out injured all season, comes back immediately, sorts the defence out. As soon as he goes off, we concede 2 goals. So it's you get what I mean. So who knows at Hastings? There's always fun and games there. So, but yeah, that's that really.
I suppose we can only touch on the sort of crazy inconsistencies of form, really, in the football twilight zone we like to call the Isthmian League. I mean, there's been some funny old results recently. Obviously, that Lewis one being standout at the weekend. I mean, for a team of, like I say, Potter's Bar's calibre, who got smacked 8-0 on the opening day, they've been rinsing a few teams since then. Yeah. The same happened to Dulwich. On Saturday as well, they were 4-0 down after about 25 minutes at Bowers and Pitsea, who are one of the few teams below us in the league at the minute. So it's just absolutely crazy at the moment, really. And I say teams who were possibly expected to be up there, Chatham being probably the best example, just can't seem to string form together at the moment, or form's just deserting altogether. I think it goes to show sort of not so much I think there was probably a lot of talk at the start of the season about how certain clubs' checkbooks could have dictated the league this year, but it more seems to be the sort of consistency of a stable squad that seems to be propelling sides up the division at the moment. I mean, there's been a few teams who are surprised, really. I think obviously, Lewis were up there for a little bit, so I'd tip them not to do that well this season, but they seem to have, at least found some sort of formula up until going around the M25. Must have not worked that far north. But the teams like Chichester as well, surprised. Grey Valley up there. So it just goes to show. I think there's still a lot to play for us, how long these teams can keep up that form, really, certainly.
Yeah.
Do you think the form thing might be because there's so many like cup and trophy games as well going on?
There is that. I mean, that's one thing that our manager picked up on a bit because occasionally I'll cover the social media bits at the club on match days. I've done that on Sunday, which was a pleasure after that. But yeah, he touched upon there really that, you know, we haven't started that well in the league. Difficult opening month, particularly with a new squad. And it's nice to have those little cup runs, but in the same vein, it eats into your league form. I mean, I think we touched a bit on that before. You had a gentleman on, Chris, didn't you, another Hastings fan, and he was mentioning about like, yeah, that can sort of be costly in terms of your league form a little bit, particularly if you do need to get points on the board. So yeah, it's an interesting one really, because I mean you get that rub of the green, get in the first round proper now, particularly the clubs at our level are left in it. I don't know if we've got like, is it Horsham, Cray, Wanderers are left there still. I mean, have a good payday for them again if they get it. But is that going to mean they're playing catch up in the league? And it's too much, particularly when you don't have a massive squad. It can be a bit of a detriment.
Yeah, I mean, it's annoying, isn't it? Because, like, say for instance, like you always look when you've been knocked out of the cup. Who would you have got? We'd have got Tunbridge at home, and that would have been a bumper game, you know. And you start thinking, look at that. The club really needs the club needs a nice little earner like that. But then you weigh it up with how it messes with your league form. You sometimes focus too much on a cup and then take your eye off the league. But you know,
I think it can end up being.
We've only played 5 league games since the start of the season, so we'd like to concentrate on getting back into it, you know.
That's it, and especially once you get winter as well, you start getting natural postponements pop up anyway. When the weather starts turning to crap, yeah, you starting to find you're wrestling the fitting fixtures. I mean, the cursed one for us has always been Lewis. In the last 2 seasons we've been back in the Isthmian frame. I think we've had to at least reorganise either the home or away fixture about 5 times. And I think at least 2 or 3 of those tend to be down to cup or trophy commitments. So yeah, I suppose it depends what you're aiming for, really, doesn't it?
Just to win a game, usually.
Do you think
for us? Go on, Rob. Sorry.
Do you think there'll be a team or a group of teams in our league that start to sort of make a bit of a dent in the league and start to sort of run away with it a bit, or do you think it's going to be like this pretty much? Yeah, can you see any an outstanding team so far that you think you fancy them to go on and pull away from everyone else? Or do you think it'll be nip and tuck the whole way? Because nothing. It's all tight at the minute, really, apart from Lewis. Well, I'm not being rude about them.
No. I mean, I was starting to think Dover were putting together a bit of form, but they lost to Wingate at the weekend at home, and that was a shocking one as well. So,
yeah, they're not bad, are they? Wingate, they're another one. They're a bit of a surprise as well, aren't they?
They are, yeah. They're one of them teams that can either flirt with the bottom or flirt with the top. At least in the time I've sort of known football at this level, anyway. But again, they're another club that you can't imagine are particularly resource rich. I mean, they barely get probably less than 150 at home most games, do they? So
they're quite small on their crowd, aren't they?
Yeah.
Saying that about Lewis though, they only got a couple hundred last night. Fair weather fans, mate. Yeah, only a couple hundred. I'm sure. I could be wrong, but I think they only got a couple hundred.
Well, were they all building like the Guy Fawkes things for a bonfire night? Is that what they were?
Is that what they're all up to? Yeah.
They're good.
Hipsters. What? I've got money on your lot, haven't I? So you lot need to improve, Folkestone.
Yeah, I know. I've told them that, but they haven't really.
They're not listening.
They said, "Chris, who?" I said,
"Yeah, exactly." I think Horsham. I do think Horsham will be the side. They'll be there or thereabouts.
Okay.
They're like a bad smell, mate.
They're definitely up there, aren't they? 'Cause,
they're up somewhere.
Yeah.
Hope they're listening. I'm still trying to get them on. I'm still trying to get the Lardy boys on.
It seemed ever evasive, didn't they?
Yeah, they should come on though. Everyone's welcome. What? Talking about the league though, Terry, what's with your one? Anyone? I know you've only played 5 games, but this South East, anyone you think, not nailed on, but is showing that class already?
Supposed to be up there, you know. Ramsgate is supposed to be up there, but I don't know because I say literally because we've only played 5 games. It's like I haven't really had a chance to look at the league particularly. Herne Bay are probably going to do all right. Deal's probably going to do all right because they've got a good side. So I mean, it's loads of local derbies for us, basically.
Yeah.
It's the beauty of being in that league as well, though, isn't it? It's not too pricey. You're not too far away from anyone, so the night
I think
games aren't too
Lancing's the
mental.
furthest we got to go. So for league games, anyway.
Is it Margate or nothing? Is that it then? Is that what you're saying? Margate for the league?
I think there's the Herne Bays and Deal are going to do well, and if we can just sort of like keep up with them, we might be doing all right. We'll see how the form goes, as you say, because where we've been concentrating on all these cup games and everything, we don't know how playing our own level is working out just yet, because we don't play Ramsgate until Boxing Day, apart from the cup game, but they're going to have sorted themselves out by then just to get revenge, But I will see how it goes by Christmas and take it. But I reckon
Sitting on the
Bay for
fence,
sure.
lads. She's sitting on the fence, isn't she?
Herne Bay and Deal are definitely going to be there, but I don't know about any of the others because not really taking much notice because we've been concentrating on cups. So
All right, Lineker.
I never make
was.
predictions. Right.
Yeah.
Now we are a little chunk of the way through the season. Kind of got to grips with how the teams are doing. Who would you say has been your standout player so far in your sides? If you can pick one.
Go on.
I would say, for me, our standout player is Dan Smith, just because he scores so many goals. He scored nearly every game. I think he's been really, really good. He's really lethal in front of goal. So I'm going to have to pick Dan Smith for striker because he's been excellent for us. Yeah.
Go on, Terry.
Oh, it's going to be my Harry Hudson, isn't it? He's been absolutely solid. He had his 100th game for us the other day. Yeah, he's my boy. He's defence. You can't. He's a wall on his own, mate. He's Harry Hudson for me.
Okay, all right. I'll go D. Haven't seen as many games as I'd like. I'd say in terms of consistency, it'd be Adam Lovett, our captain in midfield. Radari's won us games. He recently, Kieran Moyes, Finley Chapman, Freddie Legg have had good games, but the consistency in a team that hasn't been playing well, we've not been playing well. So again, he's kind of like that, always that 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 player. So I'll go with Adam Lovett. John?
I'd say I think I'd like to pick one, and I think most Canvey fans probably be in agreement. Be a boy called Toby Snubu. He's essentially, I think he was almost like Kouassi's protege at one point when he was with us, but he's kind of starting to take that mantle on himself now, especially when we pushed him a bit further up the field. He tracks back well, and he's just one of the players you always know is going to give you 110%. So I'd say, he'd be my standout so far.
Let's see how the rest of it goes for this season. It's a busy couple of weeks for all of us, isn't it? So listen, gang, we will meet again. I do know when. It'll be in a couple of weeks. All right. So see you at the game and catch all of your lovely people soon. Thanks for coming on. All right,
no worries, Chris.
Cheers. That's it for this episode, SBTS fans. If you want to get in contact with this podcast, please email us on sbtspod@gmail.com, Twitter, which is sbtspod. Otherwise, go to the YouTube. Over 4 years of content on there. There's so many other ways to listen. However you get your podcasts, we're on all platforms. Or go to the link tree, which is SBTS Podcast, and subscribe. It's all free. Remember, get yourselves to a game and support local football, whoever and wherever you're watching. And apart from that, see you at the game.